Hey, what's going on, everybody? A little bit of change of scenery, moved back to college, so just that. But nonetheless, let's get it. Going over Job 6 and 7 today. Last time I left off, I was in 4 and 5, where Job's friend Eliphaz was trying to give him some words of encouragement, like telling him to get up and keep going, and telling him that he's done so much good and he's a faithful man and God will provide, basically. So yeah, six starts off. It's a really deep. Both of these are really deep. His response to Eliphaz, it's he's going through a lot of pain and he's just kind of letting that out now. But there's a cool little shift at 6 and 7, towards midway through 7, beginning of 7. So yeah. Job 6 starts off, if only my anguish could be weighed, and all misery placed on the scales, which surely outweigh the sand of the seas. You just got to think about how much sand is in the seas, and how much of the earth is covered by sand. I mean, whenever there's water, most of the time there's sand. It's crazy. And then 5, does a wild donkey bray when it has grass, or an ox bellow when it has fodder? So it's basically saying, are you disappointed when you have food? Which is also saying, why do I have stuff still, but I'm still suffering? So he's just saying, yeah, I'm still blessed, I'm still alive, I still have my life, but I'm still suffering. He said, is tasteless food eaten without salt, or is there flavor in the sap? I refuse to touch it. Such makes me ill. Basically, what this is saying is kind of just is tasteless food eaten without salt, or is there flavor? He's just I refuse to touch it. It makes me ill. He just kind of feels worthless, and there's nothing special about him because, he's just depressed, simply. And then 8, I thought that I might have my request, that God would grant what I would hope for, that God would be willing to crush me, to let loose his hand and cut off my life. Then I would still have this consolation, my joy in unrelenting pain, that I had not denied the words of the Holy One. What strength do I have that I should still hope? What prospects that I should be patient? Do I have the strength of stone? Is my flesh bronze? Do I have any power to help myself, now that success has been driven from me? That's just deep, and it hits hard. He's saying he's not denying the words of the Holy One. He still has his consultation. He still has some sort of hope, but he just feels he feels defeated. That he doesn't want to have hope because he feels no matter what, it's just gonna be bad. It's fair, and that's a common thing in life. When something bad happens, am I worthy? Is this gonna get better? And I promise you, it does. If you're in a deep pit, or there's something going on and something you don't know you're wrestling with, and you just feel why me? That's the story of Job right here. It's kind of just, why me? And basically the answer is God tests us, and tests is what makes us stronger. And I keep seeing this thing, and it says, it asks people are wondering, why is God silent during my hardest times? And you got to relate that to, when you're taking a test, the teacher isn't talking to you. You got to figure it out on your own. And that's not God's way of just saying here you go, deal with it, figure it out. It's God's way of helping us grow. And if you always have someone holding your hand, you're never going to learn anything. And that's just what God's doing, is he's wanting us to learn. He's wanting us to grow. So I'm going to go back to 14, start with 14. Anyone who withholds kindness from a friend forsakes the fear of the Almighty. But my brothers are as undependable as intermittent streams, as the streams that overflow when darkened by thawing ice and swollen with melting snow. but that stop flowing in the dry season and in the heat vanish from their channels. It's basically he's just like disappointed in his friends and basically saying in the heat they vanish from the channels. That's the end of 17. It's kind of just saying there, like, when he needed them most, when he's at his darkest moments, they vanish. It's like, obviously, when it's really hot outside, you need water, or you gotta cool off, and they just vanished. So I'm gonna skip to 21. Now you too have proved to be of no help. You see something dreadful and are afraid. Have I ever said, give something on my behalf? Pay a ransom for me from your wealth. Deliver me from the hand of my enemy. Rescue me from the clutches of the ruthless. Teach me, and I will be quiet. Show me where I have been wrong. How painful are honest words. But what do your arguments prove? They were left off. So here he's talking, and he's saying, like, have I ever asked for anything, like, from you guys? Like, have I ever asked you for help with money, like, defense, whatever? Like, just being gone. And he said, teach me and I'll be quiet. Show me where I've been wrong. He says, how painful are your honest words? What do your arguments prove? And he goes on to say, do you mean to correct what I say and treat my desperate words as wind? Just like, are you guys really just like correcting me for when I'm like in pain and suffering and just like not even care what I'm telling you? And like, that's a tough thing to deal with. Like when you think you have these friends that are like, you know, wanting to have your back. And like, I'm so thankful for that. I do, like, for all my buddies, love them. But it's like when I'm in this dark moment and I'm trying to like talk to you and I'm trying to figure this out and I'm just asking for your help and you're just treating my words as wind and just not even caring. It's a tough thing. It says, would you even cast lots for the fatherless and barter away your friend? 28. But now be as so kind as to look at me. When I lie to your face, relent. Do not be unjust. Reconsider, for my integrity is at stake. Is there any wickedness on my lips? Can my mouth not discern malice? He's just like, you guys are saying this and like talking about like how I might be mistreating God, but like, is there anything that I did wrong? Is there any wickedness on my lips? Can my mouth not discern malice? And he's just confused. And his friends are just not helping. 7 starts, do not mortals have hard service on earth? Are not their days like those of hired laborers? Like a slave longing for the evening shadows, or a hired labor waiting to be paid. I have been allotted months of futility, and nights of misery have been assigned to me. When I lie down, I think, how long before I get up? The night drags on, and I toss and turn until dawn. So he's just obviously just struggling with this. Like a slave longing for the evening shadows. He's just waiting for it to be over. And a lot of the times we are too. And in church yesterday, they talked about disappointment, how it's something that a lot of people just see as like, okay, I got to get through this as fast as possible. Just get around it, not worry about it. But in reality, like, we need to go through it to experience and to learn. When I lie down, I think, how long before I get up? Just like taking things like sleep, you know, like, be like, oh, great, I get to sleep. Like, I get to get a good amount of sleep. But instead, he's like, okay, now how long before I have to go back out there and just waste my life away? 6, my days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle, and they come to an end without hope. Remember, O God, that my life is but a breath. My eyes will never see happiness again. That eye that now sees me will see me no longer. You will look for me, but I'll be no more. As a cloud vanishes and is gone, so one who goes down to the grave does not return. Just saying, like, his days are so limited, they're going by so fast, and he's just done. His life is but a breath. My eyes will never see happiness again. Just as a cloud vanishes and is gone. And I mean, that's a deeper message for another time when I go through something else, but all of our lives are truly a breath. And I mean, think about it. This earth has been here for so long. And I mean, Christ died 2024 years ago, and we are just blessed to be able to live through part of that time at all. But Yeah. 11, therefore I will not keep silent. And this is that switch that I was talking about, where he goes to, instead of responding to his friends, he's now speaking to God. Therefore I will not keep silent. I'll speak out in the anguish of my spirit. I'll complain in the bitterness of my soul. Am I the sea or the monster of the deep, that you put me under guard? So that part right there, am I the sea or the monster of the deep that you put me under guard? So I read a little bit more about that, and like the sea and the sea monster thing, that's something that like ancient parts in like the Middle East, they used to think the sea as a monster and something that they needed to like keep away. And that's kind of what he's reflecting on right now. When I think my bed will comfort me and my couch will ease my complaint, even then you frighten me with dreams, terrify me with visions, so that I prefer strangling and death rather than this body of mine. And he says that even that you frighten me with dreams. So in reality, it's Satan. And he's just being tested. God is letting Satan test him. And then he says, 16, I despise my life. I would not live forever. Let me alone. My days have no meaning. And that's just, it's a tough way to live, feeling like purposeless and just despising waking up in the morning. 17, what is mankind that you make so much of them, that you give them so much attention, you examine them and test their every moment? Will you never look away from me, or let me alone for an instant? If I've sinned, what have I done to you? You who see everything we do. Why have you made me your target? Have I become a burden to you? Why do you not pardon my offenses and forgive my sins? For I will soon lie down in the dust. You will search for me, but I'll be no more. And, that's just him saying, like, I want to be done. And, he's just kind of questioning God's decisions right now. Saying, like, I've sinned, and you forgive everybody else, but you're not forgiving me. You're just punishing me harder and harder. And that's how it is sometimes. But in reality, like I said before, it's just Satan. It's Satan just testing him away and away and away. And he just doesn't understand that. And, I mean, how should he? But in reality, Satan is where all this evil comes from. Just like temptation, sin, addiction. It's just Satan pulling you in and in. And it's just something that we gotta repent and just block out. But it's hard, and it takes a lot of dedication and just strength. But yeah, we'll leave off at the end of 7, going into 8 next time. And another one of his friends will talk to him. But thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Y'all have a great day.